welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam and today I'm coming at you with a little book tag. This is going to be the Get to It Later book tag. Rachel tagged me in this so long ago, probably months at this point. It was one of those things that was like, I'll get to it, but then a different video would take its spot and it just kept getting pushed further down and down. So finally we are getting to it and I am doing the Get to It Later book tag. This is a pretty short one. There's only 7 questions, so it won't take us a whole lot long. I won't yap too terribly much. The first question is a classic book that you have been meaning to read forever but have not yet gotten to. And so many. Frankenstein, Dracula, anything Jane Austen. I truly have so many classic books that I just haven't gotten around to, either because I'm intimidated or they're just not the highest priority. Like, I know they're always going to be there on my shelf. They're always around if I'm ever getting that itch or craving for them, but I don't very often crave classics, so it's kind of difficult. But I do have a goal of reading 5 classics in the year, and I've read 1. So I kind of got to get on that if I'm going to get to that goal. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, classics, rainy day, and then I just never get to them. So eventually I would like to read some of the classics that even people whom I admire still would like recommend, but I just haven't gotten to them yet. The next question is just a book on your shelf you haven't read yet. Welcome to my library. I actually uploaded earlier this year my entire physical TBR, which is like over 700 books. I have this whole library room, and then I have a living room library space where all of my books are. A lot of them, I'd say at least 100 of those are classics that I share with my partner. And then we've got just like a mix of fantasy, sci-fi, horror, young adult, so many things. But I figured for funsies, because I'm actually going to be reading it this month, Calabasas by R.F. Kuang is a book on my shelf that I haven't yet gotten to. But this is a newer release that I'm very excited about and would love to pick up as soon as possible. I already have a date planned, so I know when I'm reading this, and it will be soon enough. But can we just talk about how awful those pages are? Like, why are they so stark white? Who thought this design was good? The pages, like, the sprayed edges are cool, but, like, I got a lot of special editions on these shelves, and I get really nice sprayed edges, and they're not stark white pages. So I don't know who thought this was the right idea, but either way, a book on my shelf that I've not yet read, but will be reading quite soon. So yeah, stay tuned. I hope you're excited for it. I have avoided all of the discourse so far, so we're gonna have to wait and see how it goes for little old me. The next question we've got is a book that you have recently purchased and not yet read. It's The Grim and Oro. I am so freaking pumped about this. I have not, like, I don't have a time slot for it, if that makes any sense. I haven't, like, I don't know. I don't have plans yet. So we've just got a really pretty book. This is the recent edition. It's like Oro and Grimm's novella stories. I really don't understand, like, what it's going to be. I just know that it's about them. And that's really all that I know. But I am still excited. I am a light lark apologist, if you will, and so I'm very excited to see how that book will go for me and, you know, get all my thoughts and opinions out into the world. Oh boy, so number 4 is a book you've had forever and haven't yet read. There's quite a few. I am more in the camp of I buy books and then they're... Hi there, bud. What's up? I often am more in the camp of I buy a book and then it's a rainy day book and then I can get to it at any point because it's like forever on my shelf. Whereas I prioritize my library holds more often because of the fact that those aren't always available to me. Whereas the books on my physical shelves are there forever until I decide they aren't anymore. So they're like there for rainy days whenever I'm in the mood. Where I often prioritize my library books because those are kind of like hot commodity and I don't always have access to them. And so I kind of have to negotiate my reading terms based around Libby often. And so when looking at my shelves, I started buying books back in like 2016 to 2018 when I was originally an Owl Crate subscriber. That was a gifted subscription to me and I stopped getting those. And so I didn't have books for a while and I started again seriously collecting books back in 2021. And so my collection is kind of a mix of those time periods of like me in high school versus me now. And I would say that I've got a decent amount of books from 2016, 17, and 18. A few that I grabbed off my shelf were specifically from 2018. So I grabbed Rose Blood by A.G. Howard, and this was an Owl Crate special edition. We peeped the font. I still haven't read this. It was a book that I was actually so incredibly excited for, and it's not like I heard reviews and didn't want to pick it up anymore. I think ultimately it came down to the fact that the font is red and it just like didn't work for my eyes and I wasn't really vibing with it. But I started reading it in high school and then I just never picked it back up or finished it. So it's just been sitting on my shelves all this time. I know nothing except for it's Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I've never really heard anybody talk about it, but I love Phantom of the Opera. So in theory, I really should. But I've also like kind of had this in an unhaul pile for a while too. So it's one of the oldest books on my shelf, but will it be on my shelf for long? I don't know. Okay, number 5 is a book recommended by a friend that you haven't gotten to yet. And I'm kind of bad at this. I do have on my Goodreads a shelf specifically for books that are recommended to me. Like if a friend or a booktube event scenario happens, I save the books that people explicitly like say that I will enjoy or really want me to read for whatever reason. I try and keep track of those. Some of those come from things like 12 friends recommend 12 books, and that I'm notoriously bad at finishing because I'm really bad at prioritizing year-long TBRs throughout the year. I don't really think about it except for like January and December. Which is bad of me, and I do know. I think I might have to just stop doing 12 friends recommend 12 books for a little bit because I'm not doing great at reading those books. So a lot of my recommended books from friends that I haven't read yet are from, sadly, 12 friends recommend 12 books. But I always appreciate and love hearing recommendations for me, so I want to keep asking even if I never read them, which is bad of me. So I might stop doing 12 friends recommend 12 books and just focus on like 25 books in 2025 situations. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with friend recommendations, unfortunately. But I do my best to try and read them. I still have them on my Goodreads shelf, so I will at some point read those books. And like I do plan to go back to them because they were, recommended with some love and care. And so I am interested in picking them up still and like seeing if they work for me. Especially because I feel like there's a shift going on, but I do like picking up more backlist books and, versifying my my reading tastes. So I will hopefully pick them up at some point. But yeah, there's a few. Second to last question, we've got a book you're procrastinating on. And oh boy, howdy. When I say this one is kind of embarrassing, we've got all of Our Demise. This is by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. So this came out in 2022. I got an audiobook arc for it. And then I just haven't read it. It's been 3 years and I still have not picked it up. I want to get to it so bad. I want to reread the first book, which I loved and adored. One of my favorite young adults. Loved it so much. So I really want to reread that and then pick up this following it. I think just because it was slightly chunkier, which I've read much chunkier books than this now. So I feel like it's not as intimidating as it was to me in 2022. I just haven't gotten around to it, which is a real shame of me. But it's a series that have so far loved, and I think I will continue to love. So I just need to read it. I'm really hoping that I can slot this into something, even if I have to really stretch some readathon prompts. But I'm really hoping for one of these weekends, for Halloween weekend, for Relax and Readathon, for the 24-hour readathon that Allie might be hosting. Any of those things that I can fit this duology into, I'm going to do it, okay? Mark my words. I will read this month. But yeah, I've been putting this off for so long. Just every month saying I'm going to read it for the last 2 years, putting on so many TBRs and still putting it off for no good reason. I don't know if it's like subconsciously I don't want the world to end. I don't want anything bad to happen to the characters more than it already has. Like, I don't know what is holding me back, but I need to just get over it and read this dang book. And then that leaves us to our final question of this tag, which is the next book on my TBR. So many. There's always a constant flow of things that I'm getting to. But I'm currently halfway through A Land So Wide by Erin A. Craig, one of my favorite authors in the world. And I'm actually having a really good time with this so far. I'm not having any issues or complaints. It's just atmospheric and good. It's well written. It doesn't necessarily feel more adult than her young adult works, unfortunately. So besides that, I don't know. But it is enjoyable. I'm loving it. We're following Greer, and Greer is in her, I think, late 20s, even though she doesn't necessarily feel like it, but small village vibes, very similar to Small Favors, if you've ever read that from Erin A. Craig. But they live in a village, they're protected by these benevolent gods, and right before the hunt happens, where she's supposed to get basically engaged to her childhood sweetheart, he walks off into the woods after sunset, which shouldn't be possible, and she has to go after him and find him and save him, maybe? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I do think that the pacing might not be for everybody, but I'm having a really good time with this so far, and this is kind of my plan this afternoon, is just to get through this and read as much of it as I possibly can, hopefully finish it tonight. But that's kind of my plans after this video wraps up. So we're at the end now, and now we can wrap it up, and then I can go read my book, so it works out. I don't know after Atlanta Wide what exactly I'm planning to pick up. Probably something for trick or treat. I'm still working on those, so that is definitely a possibility. After that though, I don't know. Like, I don't know what for me I'm gonna read. I already talked about some of the books that I'm hoping to get to this month as well, so this is kind of like a weird little TBR if you think about it. But I'm hoping to get to a lot of things this month. Like, I'm hoping to read like almost a crazy amount of books. That's kind of the plan. So I think I have to stop yapping so that I can go read more books to accomplish my goal. So with that said, if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a tree emoji for Atlanta Wide, the forest atmosphere, and I will see you guys tomorrow in my next video, which will be a booktuber trick or treat vlog, so I will see you there. Bye!